2024 was a year where all I could do was surrender. I was met with iterations and iterations of myself that I really had to sit with and investigate and move through. I was faced with woundings and old stories that I thought I had healed from. It's never completely healed. It takes lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, but things that I thought we were complete with, and then they come back, in new forms to challenge you, to help you grow, to really, really move through them. So that is how 2024 was for me. It was a very internal year of deep purging, so I could really realize who the truth of myself was. I was faced with understanding more deeply the ways that I love other people, the ways that I could love other people better, the ways that I could love myself better. I really had to also move through a lot of old stories of pain, of grief, of sorrow that I was holding on to unconsciously or consciously, and that it was really time for me to sit with them, to grieve them, to move through them, so that I could have spaciousness and clarity to move forward with my life. Because of the work that I did in 2024, and the work keeps going, it is really never over, but because of just all of that I went through in 2024, I feel like it's really offered me a foundation to really understand myself more clearly, understand my visions, understand my desires, so that I can move forward with more aligned action and not just kind of be bumbling about, confused and unknown even to myself. So with 2025, I really want to devote myself to my dreams. And hi, if you're new here, my name is Jo. I am a queer Filipinx living in so-called California. I am 26 years old, and I have been a full-time artist for the last 4 years, which is an amazing accomplishment. It's an amazing milestone. It's one that I never thought I would be able to achieve if you asked me this 5 years ago. I am a hand poke ceremonial tattoo artist, and I have traveled all over the world offering tattoo ceremony to beloved kin and community. I really view tattoo as a form of ancestral technology that offers us the ability to reclaim ourselves. It is medicine, it is ritual, it is magic, and that is kind of the center of the work that I do. But alongside with tattooing, I had my first magazine illustration job last November or last October. That was my first paid magazine illustration gig. So really, really excited about that, with a magazine that I feel really deeply aligned and resonant with. And yeah, I've also been co-facilitating community circles for the last year, focused on QT BIPOC healing, access to land, being in right relationship with land, somatic exercises to regulate the nervous system. I have been co-facilitating community space over the last year or so. Along with all of that, I am a Reiki and breathwork practitioner. But really more important than all of that, I am a full-time human. I am a very messy, confusing, deeply flawed, trying their best human. And also, happy spring equinox. That was kind of my motivation to create this video. I feel like the spring equinox is the start of a new year for me. I don't subscribe to January 1st being the new year. I don't subscribe to the Gregorian calendar idea that the new year is in the middle of winter. I really align myself with earth-based ritual and aligning myself with the seasons. And I feel like it just makes sense that in the winter we should be resting, we should be still, we should be reflecting. And in spring, that is when I'm feeling the most alive, to start putting plans into action, to start moving, to start really devoting myself to these visions. So happy spring equinox. And yeah, devotion was, sorry, something loud outside my window. Devotion is my word of the year for 2025. And I picked this word specifically because other words like discipline and commitment, those words are very powerful and potent, But for me, they feel very restraining. They feel almost a bit suffocating and a bit frightening. And that is just me as someone who is an Aquarius stellium and also has my own woundings with commitment and restriction and limitation. So I intentionally picked the word devotion because I feel like that still encapsulates all of that discipline, all of that routine, that commitment, while it being very, very heart-centered and connected to something greater than myself. So 2025 is the year that I am devoted to my dreams. And honestly, I have been devoted to my dreams. I mean, I look around my life now and 10-year-old me or 15-year-old me would be completely in awe that this is my life. And I am incredibly, incredibly grateful that I get to do what I love every day and it sustains me and it offers a roof over my head and groceries, and that I get to connect with beautiful people and beautiful places. I am really so, so grateful. And at the same time, I feel like I'm at that doorway, that initiation where I'm ready to dream of even more. I feel like once you have reached something that you've dreamed of for some time, it's almost more frightening and requires more courage to continue to keep dreaming and to dream even bigger, to challenge yourself to dream even more expansively. And that's kind of the uncomfortable space where I find myself now. Although I really love my life and I am so grateful for this beautiful life that I have, I know that there are still other parts of myself that I really want to explore. There are other skills that I really want to learn and challenge myself with. And there are other iterations of my art that I really want to devote myself to. Right now, almost all the art that I make is for other people. It's for beloved clients or for jobs or gigs. I honestly make very little art for myself, and I am starting to feel the weight of that on my creative spirit. And I'm really wanting 2025 to be a year where I'm devoted to my own personal exploration of my visioning and my art for myself and myself firstly. Just going to look at my notes for a moment here. This is my first talking video on YouTube. I have another video that I posted a couple weeks ago, but that's just my voice over some beautiful imagery. And so I'm a bit nervous with this being my first talking video. It feels very personal because it is. And yeah, this is just what we're devoting ourselves to. So yeah, with this devotional practice to my dreams this year, there are 3 main pillars that I'm kind of focusing on to help me with this devotion. And the first pillar is structure. A big lesson that I've learned is that there is liberation in limitation. And this seems confusing, right? Because liberation is about having the freedom to do what we desire, to do what we need. But at least for myself personally, I've realized that in the last year, I really need some structure and some limitation to kind of support my visioning and support my energy so that I'm not all over the place. I kind of have a tendency to make half-hearted efforts at many multitude of things instead of devoting myself to a few things fully and completely. The second biggest pillar that I will be focusing on is curiosity and play. I feel like, especially because a big dream of mine this year is to explore my own personal art more, I really want to allow myself the spaciousness to play, to experiment. I am someone who has tens and tens and hundreds of Pinterest boards. Maybe not literally, but it feels like that, where I have so many Pinterest boards and I'm pinning and I'm saving things and I'm bookmarking sources of inspiration. But when it comes to actually transmuting that inspiration into something tangible, I kind of stop and I get stuck. And I kind of get stuck at that inspiration gathering phase. So I really want that curiosity to translate into play and for me to do something with that inspiration. So yeah, my third and final kind of pillar that I will be focusing on this year is sustainability. I really want to make small everyday actions rather than one large dramatic revolutionary action that's so temporary and fizzles out after a long period of time. I really want to sustain my dreams over a long period of time, and for sure beyond even this 1 year of 2025. I feel like even thinking about, the land and about forests and about permaculture, which I'm reading a lot of books on right now, that any plans that you make should really have the next 5 years in mind, the next 10 years, even the next lifetime of people that I will never meet. And so here's a little bit of what to expect from this channel. I posted a video a couple weeks ago on aliveness as a guide, and I really want this channel to be a collection of people and places and experiences that inspire me and that drive me to create, to learn more about myself, to grow, to shapeshift. To try new things, to learn new things. So this will kind of be a collection of a personal archive, really, of myself and of this journey of being human and this spiral journey of life, of learning and committing myself and devoting myself. A big reason too why I'm here on YouTube is that this is actually a dream that I've had for many years of kind of sharing my voice and sharing myself more personally. Even in my art practice, I think that it doesn't feel the most personal sometimes. And I really want to bring my own individuality, my own unique spirit, my own unique voice to the forefront of this channel. And I want to share it and not be scared to share it and to embrace it and to embrace the messiness of it all. And I won't be perfect. I will be flawed. I will change my mind many times as I learn new things. I will shapeshift, and I want to grant myself the permission to shapeshift, to change, to grow, and to just be a well human in this day. So that's a little bit of what to expect from this channel. Okay, so let's get into my 2025 dream web and the dream seeds that I'm planting this year. Okay, beautiful. So here are my 2025 dream seeds. These are kind of like the main areas of my life that I really want to devote myself to this year. So yeah, to move towards our dreams, we first have to be well. Our bodies have to be well. Our spirits have to be well. Our emotional bodies have to be well. So here's kind of what I have in terms of my own personal wellness. So in terms of my spiritual practice, I would like to spend at least 10 minutes every day in meditation. I typically go through long periods of time where I do this and then long periods of time where I don't do this. So again, I want it to be sustainable and long term. So I'm aiming to just sit for 10 minutes every day in meditation, either when I go to sleep or when I wake up. I would also like to sit at my altar for extended ritual at least once a week. And this is something that I already do, but when it gets to the point where I desperately need to do so, like as in like maybe it's been many weeks since I've done a ritual or sat in ritual, or maybe I've gone through like some emotional turbulence and I'm putting off sitting in personal ritual. So I would really like to sit at my altar for extended ritual at least once a week. And I'll probably make another video on what that looks like if that feels interesting or if that feels called to my spirit to share more. But yeah, that is usually about like an hour, hour and a half of me sitting in more extended prayer. And then in terms of my physical wellness, I would like to move at least 5 times a week, even if it is just 30 minutes of stretching. I currently already have like a weight training and cardio program that I follow. But I really would like to prioritize moving at least 5 times a week. And I really, really need to stretch more too, especially tattooing. And I'm kind of like bent over all day. I really want to stretch more. So that's kind of why that's there. And then eating more whole foods. I already eat a vegan diet. I eat very little sugar. I don't consume much caffeine. So I just want to keep going on with my regular diet. And then also I have question mark, exclamation point, go on a backpacking trip. I really, really would like to do that. It's already spring here, so I'm not sure if I'll get to this spring, but at least I could prepare, for the fall. And then in terms of my emotional and mental wellness, I really want to make sure that I am committing to somatic exercises weekly, whether that is going for a walk, doing some, tapping, EFT tapping on my body, or just grounding with the earth, being barefoot on the earth. I want to regulate my nervous system, and hand in hand with that is limiting my screen time and social media usage. My nervous system gets so overstimulated and just really overwhelmed when I spend time scrolling. So I really want to limit my screen time and social media usage and utilize it more consciously and slowly. I don't feel like I need to abstain from social media completely, but I do think there are ways to interact with social media in a more intentional and mindful way. Okay, beautiful. And then, yeah, I have here for my creative practice and studies, play, play, play. That is really at the heart of everything that I want to be doing this year. So I really want to play, have personal art creation, at least 10 minutes every day, even if it's just a messy sketch or a poetry piece. I don't want to feel so pressured that every time I create something, it has to be a life-changing work of art. I really want to, build this creative muscle and just utilize it. So devoting myself to 10 minutes every day of some form of art creation, and really make sure that I'm centering my own vision and no one else's. So it's really more about the process for me than the end result with this art creation. I'm really trying to revise my whole process with my artistic practice and really change what am I even focusing on? Is it external validation or is it internal validation for my own spirit? And that's what I want to shift towards. And then these are like some creative skills that I would really like to learn and play and experiment more with this year. I have writing, sewing, textile art, painting, clay, guitar, film, and video. And then in terms of land tending skills, these are things that I would really love to deepen my knowledge in this year if it is accessible and aligned. Permaculture is a big one. And again, permaculture is a very recent Western word for indigenous technology and indigenous ways of tending to the land that have been practiced for thousands of years. But I'm just putting permaculture here as that is what most, teachings kind of categorize themselves as today. So I really want to deepen my knowledge of land, and I would really love to learn cob earth building. There's been a couple opportunities in the past where I've like almost dedicated myself, but maybe the course isn't accessible at that time or it's far away. So I'd really love to, if that aligned, I would love to learn how to build with earth more. And then here I have in bold, be curious and follow through on any sources of inspiration. I think the follow through part is the most important part for me. I am a very curious person already, but it's about how am I going to translate that curiosity into something tangible, into something felt? How am I going to translate and transmute that source of curiosity into something that is my own and my own visioning? Okay, beautiful. Then here I have ancestral legacy. So this is kind of more of what is the impact that I want to leave behind, beyond my time here on Earth. So in terms of ancestral legacy, I would like to continue hosting community spaces. I want to commit to local mutual aid, and then also learning Tagalog. My parents immigrated from the Philippines to America, and I am the first generation born here in so-called America on Turtle Island. So I really would love to learn Tagalog so I could better communicate with my relatives and just feel like a deeper sense of belonging when I go back home to the Philippines. And then I would like to continue educating myself on reciprocity, land stewardship, abolition, decolonial, and anti-capitalist practices, and also organizing with community in a sustainable, long-term way. I've actually been community organizing in Sacramento for many years now, and I took some time to step away because I was honestly getting very burnt out. I mean, with the structures around us, it is really heavy, and I'm really feeling like this year I'm feeling more resourced to meet with community and rebuild, some of these networks and organize in a very sustainable way where there's no burning out, where I can arrive with as much capacity as I have that day and depend on other people who are also honoring their capacity and their wellness too. It feels very big, that word, ancestral legacy, but we're all fulfilling some form of ancestral legacy, whether it is in these forms or in other forms. It's just being a good human in these times, especially in these times where I'm feeling like community is so, so necessary. Okay, and then I have here for my career, I really would like to diversify my income streams. So right now, a lot of my income comes from tattooing. Some seasons are really full and bustling and busy, and other seasons are more slow. And I always give gratitude for the slow seasons because I usually do need rest. But I would like to also be financially secure and be able to pay my rent and other things. So I would like to diversify my income streams. I've been dreaming of opening an online shop for some time, but I have here first cultivate regular creative practice to actually have goods to share. LOL. So yeah, that is a dream for this year, but I'm not setting a deadline on it. If it happens naturally and organically, I'm here for it. But my first priority is cultivating that regular personal creative practice. I would love to find more illustration work and also maybe facilitate more workshops and retreats. Last winter, I facilitated a 4-week virtual workshop called Courting Your Creative Spirit, and I really, really loved that, and I would love to share more knowledge in that way. And then I have here relationship to social media, and this is under career because so much of my business depends on social media. But I would really love to cultivate a sustainable social media rhythm. So something that feels easeful and joyful for me. I don't want to feel pressured or feel urgent in my relationship with social media. So again, it's just that structure, figuring out a routine and a ritual that feels good in the way that I relate to social media and share my work. I would really love to devote myself to a monthly email newsletter. I already have an email newsletter, but it goes out very sporadically, maybe just like a couple times a year. So I'd really love to have a monthly email newsletter, maybe even just to share more of my own personal life and things that are inspiring me at that time. And then housekeeping for career, I have redesigned website. I have a beautiful website that was co-created with my friend Simone. But yeah, I think it's time to rebirth it. The website that I have right now feels very magical. It's exactly what I asked from them. I wanted something that felt like a portal, that felt like a meandering journey. But now I'm feeling like I need something a little bit more straightforward, just more clarity, a little bit more simplified for myself and for clients as well. I've had the same website since the beginning of my business, really. Well, since 2022. So I've had it for 3 years, which is pretty close to the beginning of my business. So yeah, I think it's time to rebirth it and redesign it. Then I have here moving. Like I said, I really want to move out of the city and onto land. I have a wonderful, beautiful partner right now who we are planning on moving. And in true eclipse fashion, we are in limbo right now with a house that we thought that we were going to move to last week. It's not confirmed yet. A lot of things are up in the air. So fingers crossed that that can happen. We're supposed to hear back from the house this week, this Friday. Maybe by the time I post this, I will know already if we're confirmed for the home or not. But yeah, really, really hoping to move out of the city and onto land. I want to cultivate skills for land stewardship, permaculture, gathering water, gathering solar energy. I want to learn how to devote myself to herbalism and planting native plants, maybe even stewarding some animals like chickens. I'd really like to learn more in that. And then I would like to build new community in the area. I think moving from a city environment to a rural environment is going to be a big shift for me. I've really spent almost all my life here in Sacramento. I want to be very heart-centered, in that move. And I want to connect with aligned kin and make new friends and new community wherever I end up. Okay, and then I have here community and relationships. This is kind of like what I want to devote myself to in my personal relationships. So I have here spend one-on-one time with my siblings and with my parents, at least 1 to 2 days a month. I am pretty good at having lunch with my dad, but it takes me like every couple months we'll have a lunch, but I would really like to see them more often, like monthly. So yeah, I really want to keep that relationship with my family really alive and also create spaciousness for more vulnerability, more closeness, just to hear each other and understand each other. It's a great blessing that my parents are still alive, and I really want to make the most of it and spend time with them and get to know them more. I feel like I get to know them more every year, just like I am changing every year. I know they are changing every year too, so I really want to witness those changes and yeah, just be more vulnerable with them. And then I have here more restful, playful creative creation time with friends. So time to be silly. I want more silly time with friends. A lot of my loved ones, we organize together or we plan community events together, which I still want to keep doing, but I also want just more silly, goofy, haha time together, like rolling around in the grass and being silly and laughing and having like sleepovers and movie nights. So yeah, I'm really wanting more of that. And then I have here transforming digital friendships into in person if possible. Honestly, I've made a lot of friends from Instagram and TikTok that have translated to real life friendships, and I really want to keep that going. I am grateful for the digital realms and social media for connecting me to people who I would have never met. But I feel like the real importance is translating those relationships into the physical realm, into in person. So, yeah, I want to keep doing that. And then secure and loving attachment with all beloveds in my life, whether that is my partner or my friendships. I really want to ensure that I am having clear communication about needs and boundaries. I want to prioritize my time with them. I'm someone who my friendships are highly, highly prioritized in my life. And they're also very romantic. I feel like romance is not meant to just be, only for your romantic partner. I feel like romance is something that I carry through many of my friendships, and I want to keep on cultivating that secure and loving attachment. I want to respect and honor boundaries. I want to check in with folks. I want to have, yeah, the clear communication feels like a really big one for me. So, yeah, I want to have clear check ins on how I can support other people more and how I can be supported more. What are my needs as well? So, yeah, this is kind of my 2025 dream seeds that I'm planting. They're all very interconnected with each other. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. Okay, so yeah, 2025, I am devoting myself to my dreams. There are no deadlines or like dates on any of these goals. These are just alive and shape-shifting practices that I really want to focus on this year. And yeah, just thank you all for being here. Thank you all for witnessing me. This is really healing just for me to share my voice and to just be myself and understand myself more and more. So just thank you all for listening. And yeah, stay tuned on this journey, on this spiral journey of life. Thank you. Bye.